And on the topic of potential body counts, there's some news with Huma Abedin.
Yes, I was shocked, I tell you, to see that Huma Abedin has dropped civil divorce proceedings from her husband, Anthony Weiner, who is, as we speak, sitting in a federal prison somewhere for sending dirty, nasty messages to little girls on Twitter or whatever. Okay, and I saw this and people were just like, well, I hope they work it out. I'm like, what? Okay, there's one reason. There is exactly one reason why Huma Abedin has dropped divorce proceedings against Anthony Weiner. And that reason is that in the United States of America, spouses cannot be compelled to testify against each other in court. And Miss Huma is up to her hairy little eyebrows in all kinds of felonious activity with regards to Hillary Clinton's emails and just copying and pasting entire massive PNG, I assume they're PNG files, filled with classified documents and all kinds of top secret stuff. And, just copying and pasting them onto her pervert husband's porn laptop. I mean, Huma Abedin.
It was the shared marital laptop, apparently.
The shared marital laptop. Oh, that's gross. That's really gross.
I didn't mean it to sound that way. He's just,
yeah, it's just
okay. Never mind.
It's a function of the culture. And so, yeah, that whole thing happened, and I saw that on Drudge, and people being kind of mystified about this. Like, oh, come on, you guys. I mean, we covered this before. Huma Abedin married Anthony Weiner. He was a double beard. Okay, so Huma Abedin is Hillary Clinton's lesbian concubine,
and don't forget who officiated at the wedding.
And Bill Clinton officiated at the wedding.
Yes,
That's
did.
right. That's right. So she's Hillary Clinton's lesbian concubine. So Anthony Weiner was a beard in the traditional sense of the slang term, which means when a sex pervert who's engaging in sexually perverted acts or just perverted sodomitical acts with someone of the same sex, when they go out and they try to find an opposite sex person to enter into a fake marriage with, to cover the fact that they are sex perverts. And especially for Huma Abedin, this was very big because her parents were and are and continue to be, and Huma Abedin was herself, extraordinarily active. They were one of the main leadership families in the Muslim Brotherhood for years and years and years. And I think the mother still is. I think the mother is still involved, or the head of the women's auxiliary, for lack of a better term, of the Muslim Brotherhood. And Huma herself worked as the editor of the Muslim Brotherhood's newsletter, magazine, whatever you would call it, for years and years. So, if you're going to be, this princess of the Musloid terrorist milieu, being known to be an open lesbian is not going to fly. Yeah, the men are all sodomites, and that's different. But the women, it's obviously not acceptable to them for women to be sodomites like that. And then the other aspect of the beard dynamic with Anthony Weiner is that, okay, as we just covered, Huma Abedin is just, on both sides of her family, her DNA is a 110% Muslim Brotherhood, and she worked herself in the Muslim Brotherhood for years and years and years. So she's up to her eyeballs in the Islamic political system and all of that. What dynamic does Anthony Weiner also provide cover in terms of? Well, he's the world's biggest and most repulsive Jew, right? I mean, Anthony Weiner embodies every negative stereotype, just and unjust, about Jews. He is the world's biggest, most repulsive Jew. And so what she does is she, quote unquote, marries him. She marries him. And now if anybody, and has a child with him, pray for that little boy. Good grief, that poor kid. She marries him. She has a kid with him. So now if anybody comes to her and says, hey, wait a minute, look at all this stuff. You're up to your eyebrows in the Muslim Brotherhood. You're like involved in this terrorist organization. She can point and say, look who I'm married to. I'm married to the world's biggest Jew.
I'm not anti-Semitic. One of my closest partners is Semitic.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this double beard dynamic. Now she's stuck. She's stuck because when she started copying all of this highly classified and top secret stuff onto the shared marital laptop, she now drags him in to all of this, into her own felonious criminal activity. Now she has to stay married to him so that the government cannot compel him to testify against her. And boy, oh boy, one would have to really think that Anthony could really drop a load on Miss Huma. So now she can't even civilly divorce him now. But
I had heard that there were some things lined up for Weiner to get prosecuted for things that were going to put him in jail for life or worse. And he did this whole sexting thing or whatever it was from the laptop so that he could get caught, so that that laptop could be taken by the FBI and they could see what was on it. And then he was going to make his deal based on that. Now, I don't know if that was complete crackpot or not, but considering he would not have been in the dark what all was on that laptop. He may not have been able to decrypt it, but I mean, again, Huma it just came out recently. She was sending the passwords for sensitive State Department things to her Yahoo email account so she could access things more easily. Well, okay. The reason why these things are hard to access is because they are state secrets, literally. You're not supposed to be sending it. And this was right before Yahoo got hacked, too. So, if you want to talk about Russian involvement with the United States, that might be an angle to investigate. There are a lot more connections between the Clinton camp and Russia. I don't know, about uranium and other things. So if you want to start really, digging up trouble with the Russians, it's not with the current occupant of the White House. It's the previous people who were in there.
That's no doubt. And, don't be fooled by anything about, Huma and Anthony are trying to work it out. No.
They're trying to work out plea agreements is what they're trying to work out.
Anthony Weiner either needs to be legally married to Huma Abedin or dead. I mean, seriously, if I were Anthony Weiner, and I'm in prison, I would be scared poopless. I would be scared poopless that the Clintons were putting out a contract on me, because it has to be one or the other. He can't be civilly divorced from her and thus able to be compelled to testify. So, oh man. But it couldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I'm sorry. Maybe that's unchristian and not nice to say, but what a sleazebag. What an absolute scumbag.
It's not an enviable position, to say the least. I mean, I would have worded it a little bit differently than you did, but yeah, it's definitely I wouldn't want to trade spots with him in any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Not at all.
Yep. So that's my little Huma Abedin rant. There you go.